Welcome to the BYU Library Family History Center training videos. This short video is about translating records using Google Translate and Google Gemini. Google Translate can translate to and from 249 dialects and language varieties. A dialect is a specific form of a language spoken by a particular group of people in a particular area or social context. Some examples of dialects include Australian English, Chilean Spanish, Egyptian Arabic, and Jamaican Patois. Let's suppose that you want to translate a genealogical document written in Russian or any other language. The image at the top of the page is a screenshot of a Russian language record from FamilySearch.org. You can drag and drop the image in the image selection on Google Translate, and in a second or two, it will translate the text into English or your target language. I'm not too happy with the format of the translation, but the English words are there. I decided to make a second try with Google Gemini. Gemini is a standalone app. I asked Gemini to translate the text into English and dragged and dropped the screenshot into the Gemini text box. After a few seconds, Gemini had translated the entire heading with comments about the meaning of the entries. Gemini seemed to do a better job than Google Translate. I decided to try a whole page of text, this time in Hungarian. Here's an expanded view of some of the text. I do not read or speak Hungarian. About 5 seconds later, I had a translation of the entire page. Here is the expanded image in English. I decided to go back to translate to see how it did with a whole page of text. Here is the expanded view of the first paragraph in English. I noted that the two translations were different. Translation is a part science and part art, so this is to be expected, but the differences seem to be contradictory. Here is a comparison of the English translation with Gemini on the top and Translate on the bottom. The Translate version makes more sense than the Gemini version. This may be a question of the amount of Hungarian text that was used in the large language model for Gemini and the ability of the dedicated translation of the Translate app. Which one of these should we trust? I decided to do a translation in Spanish, a language I speak, read, and can translate. I do not have to guess about the accuracy of the translation. Here's an expanded copy of the first paragraph of the Spanish text. Here is a Gemini translation of the text. This takes only a few seconds. I could not type out all the translation in that short time. This is a fairly good translation of the text. Here's the Google Translate version of the document, side by side with the Spanish on the left and the English on the right. Here's the English translation with Translate on the top and Gemini on the bottom. They are very similar, but the Translate version is more accurate. I would choose Translate over Gemini. Even though I speak Spanish, I'm inclined to use the Translate because of the time it would take me just to type out the translation. And if I'm going from English to Spanish, adding the diacritical marks, the little marks over the letters in the Spanish. Going back, how would I know which of the Hungarian translations was more accurate, since I don't read or speak Hungarian? That's an important question. Gemini did a better job of translating the subject headings, but struck out on the translation. It's a good idea to keep in mind the accuracy provision of the Coalition for Responsible AI and Genealogy. AI can generate false, biased, or incorrect content. Therefore, members of the genealogical community verify the accuracy of the information with other records and acknowledge credible sources of content generated by AI. One technique is to copy individual words or a sentence using an appropriate online dictionary, in this case, a Hungarian English dictionary. Here's the Hungarian that we want to translate. And the translation of the first sentence is, it should also be mentioned that Maria Theresa abolished the say in 1763 with an illegal patent. This is an online dictionary called translate.com. There are many other dictionaries that could be used. In this case, using the dictionary, it looks like Google Translate did a better job than Google Gemini. I had come to the same conclusion before looking for the dictionary. In this case, it may be that the Hungarian cannot be adequately translated into English because there's no similar word in English. We may need to pick out important words and translate them individually to see what the overall document is saying. Thanks for watching. Watch for further videos from the BYU Library Family History Center. We usually publish 2 or 3 videos a week, except for holidays.